Hello, hello. Greetings, all my friends that I have not yet met, all in the audience. This is Farzam Kamalabadi. I'm a Persian, American, Chinese living in Dubai, visiting Nigeria. It is great to be in your presence. Farzam Kamalabadi, founder of Future Trends Group, as well as supporter of the Vorem company in the blockchain and in the digital economy of the future of Africa. I would like to share with you the friends in maybe provinces, cities, even the villages, because we are so interconnected. I am on a, you can say, God-given, self-driven mission. And the mission is very simple. It concerns you. That's why we are recording this for you. The mission is called the collective rise of Africa. The collective rise of Africa. African continent, the source of human civilization, where it all started. The core, where in the geology also the formation of the planet, if you put it back together, it fits in to Africa. So, it is time for the new era of the rise of Africa, with 54 nations, 1.4, 1.5 billion population. You, my brothers and sisters and family included. I am only a messenger and a humble servant for Africa and for the Africans. The collective rise of Africa, my friends, this continent, the collective rise is in rise first of dignity. Two, because you are already dignified. When I say the rise in dignity, it doesn't mean that there is no dignity here. The highest dignity is here, but actualized and revealed to the world. The rise in dignity, the rise in affluence, and the rise in wealth, and the rise in contribution of wealth to the outside, to your own communities and to the world. An Africa that is no longer a receiver but a giver, no longer a follower but a leader. You, my friends, will be the leaders. As simple as that. No matter how hard your life or my life or everyone's is, we all come with challenges. We will overcome them. I come from humble beginnings. My father was the only doctor of 100 villages. So I grew up in the villages near the Caspian Sea, in north of Iran, Persia of that time. So that's why I want to identify with you. I have not seen you, but I talk to the eyes and the mind and the heart of you, and through you, your communities, and through you to the future generations even. I live and breathe with ancient heroes and far distant future heroes. And you are the instrument. So, let me simplify again. When we talk about the collective rise of Africa, and in affluence and in wealth, and that will affect your future, is that Africa is already more wealthy than many nations. We all here admire Dubai, and of course, great, they are very great. All the leaders are great, and the community. Dubai, Saudi, Qatar, Kuwait. Yes, but the wealth in Africa is even greater, which needs to be actualized. By whom? By all of us. The hidden wealth here, remember, Saudi has only oil, no gas. Qatar has only gas, no oil. And they don't have any other resources. We have oil, gas, mining, gold, diamond, and many other industries. Then we have forestry, then we have agriculture. Tons of resources, and then we have the human capital, you, my brothers and sisters. Doesn't matter how our beginning is modest and meager, it will become mega, it will become larger. All of this have to be released, have to be actualized. There are methodologies, there are modelings, there is a whole system that we will be introducing to Africa and will be bringing, and in fact, it is not outsiders. We are not the key, you are the key. It is called the movement of in Africa, by Africa, from Africa, for Africa. We are only the start point. So this movement is a process that will create wealth and money generation, not only in the hands of the few privileged, but then distributed back. I call it wealth creation at the same time and distribution at the same time. As we make wealth by left hand or right hand, and we'll distribute it by the other hand. And it will be distributed back to the communities where it starts from. Value creation comes from the ground, therefore the grassroots. It comes from agriculture, anything connected to the ground, and comes from, of course, resources, and including mining, and of course oil and gas and energy. But these seems far removed from the countries and the counties and the villages. But no, there will be back of the wealth distribution to you, to your communities. All of these asset-backed or asset-based or operations-based companies, economies, ministries will converge. I call it converge, merge, integrate, aggregate, multiply, digitalize, create wealth, distribute back to the society. This is going to be a model that will synchronize all the forces in Africa. We will create consensus among all the leaders and aggregation among all industries and projects. A part of the foreign capital will invest more here. And we need your safety and peace and contributions, so we build something together for you, for your future generations. Yes, economy creates peace, and peace creates greater economy. So this is the message to the communities, and for whatever background you are, you feel you are privileged or underprivileged, you feel that a sense of justice or no, your justice has been taken away from you. Let's put these differentiations and the differences aside. Let's work towards a common cause, the cause of the rise of Africa, of Nigeria, of your province, of your city. In the next era, there will be more and more autonomies in your city and in your province to do international cooperation, to do regional cooperation, to also create microeconomies in your own areas. More investment, more development, more production, and more creation and more surplus distribution from your regions to the rest of Africa, to the world. Why the rise of Africa is possible? I call it the realm of possibilities. Don't be subliminally, subconsciously, we all be brainwashed that we don't have anything. No, we have everything, more than the other nations who didn't have anything, who were walking in the desert or were walking in the mountains, and yet now there is much wealth created. It is time for Africa, and by the grace of God, it shall happen. It will happen. I am a humble person, but I was involved 35 years ago and instrumental in the collective rise of China. And that is my credit, that my promise to you, that within 1 decade, there will be a major change and rise in Africa peacefully, not disturbing anyone's interests. Neither the governments, they still can be in charge. Not you and not the fightings in the ground, and no threat to any of the international, we call it interest parties. We are not against neither Europe, nor America, nor France, nor England, nor all will participate. US, China, India, all Africa itself, Europe, including all Middle East, they will all be participant in investing and benefiting from Africa. Remember, I have a personal philosophy. I have a saying. Since the day I was born since the day I was born onward, I need nothing. What do I need? All provided by the heavens and by God. Even sometimes in tough times. Yeah, reliance on God. We are provided for. Since the day I was born onward, I need nothing. I'm zero need, 100% solutions. My fellow family, you are the source. You are not followers. You are leaders. Believe in it, it is as true as it comes. I was running in the rice fields as a little child. Maybe I have seen more poverty than you imagine that you have seen. And yet everything changes. If you willed and if God willed. God willed that I am talking to you. It's not me. And you will, and you will see. I am transferring part of my heart and soul to you. This is not an economic talk first. It is part of my existence to you. My father was illiterate until the age of 20. He didn't know how to read or write. All of a sudden, he was inspired. And then he studied in 1 year the equivalent of 6 years of primary school, and he got his degree. Then in 1 year, the 9th grade, and in 1 year, 12th grade. In 3 years, he finished high school. He had to work hard, no money. Every type of job that is the lower level job that you can imagine, from portering to garbage collection, to stone cutting, to masonry, to shoe repair, everything. Then he became a doctor from 2 universities. And then he was allowed to go outside in other countries, Brazil, Belgium, London. He went to the villages of north, first of the south. The places that he went, there were tarantulas and snakes. He got bitten for 3 months, gangrenous. He had 100 different types of killer diseases in his life. And yet he became a doctor, and he served 100 villages of the north for 35 years, and he met and saved minimum several 100,000 patients. My friend, this is only one story. Your turn, your destiny is coming, has come. Don't wait for it. Start. Believe, think. We don't know what to do. What's the next step? Pray. Many doors will open, many things will be shown. The rise of Africa in affluence and in wealth, it doesn't matter from where it will be collective, it will be redistributed back to you. Why? Because I saw the China that was so backward, it took 7 hours to travel what it takes now 40 minutes, less than an hour. Yes, they changed. I had seen thousands of beggars on the streets in China, none of them there anymore. I had seen a China that was down and was pessimistic, didn't believe in its future. And I and many others, we changed that. And I saw a China that was not proud in the world community, that is now so dignified, and the communities. A multiple of that will happen with you, for you, by you. I am only a humble messenger, my brothers and sisters and family. Whether you are a child, you will also listen. You will live it 100 years. I am 60-some. I'm on the way to go. You are on the way to come. The future of Africa will be handed over to you, of course, by your participation. A totally new Africa that will rise in status from third world citizen to second world citizen to first world citizen. Yes, your life and quality around you, surroundings, will become as clean, as superb, as luxurious as in France, as in England, as in Kuwait, as in UAE and Abu Dhabi. And why not? They will be happy that you will rise. Everyone in the Arab world will be happy. Everyone in US and Europe will be happy. It doesn't mean they lose out. It means that you gain, and they will gain more. Okay? It is a win-win-win-win-win for everyone, whether the government or private or everyone, collectively. And you. First, the masses of Africa. Then the entrepreneurs of Africa, and also the government of Africa, and even the government members. Let them have wealth, but equitably prorated distributed. And that is the message that will not be against anyone, but it will support and help everyone. That's why we call it collective rise. And your status to be a modern community and society, I call it, we don't need to leave villages and townships into big cities. it is the reverse. We will have incentives that the city populations will go back to the countryside and help its growth. When we have best education and connectivity and infrastructure and roads come to the smaller towns and economy becomes active, there is incentive to go back, and it is a reverse direction. Therefore, we will bring the wealth to the villages. I saw the China, some region, I went in the farthest west, where the first telephone and fax I donated. The first fax for the whole government of the region I donated. The first libraries, the first electronic communications, and yet there also rose as the city of Shanghai has risen. As you may know of New York, there is no reason why many of the cities and communities of Africa will not be as, we can call it, in luxury and in comfort as in Florida or California or south of France or others. Not only that, the wealth creation comes from both assets and operations and integrated into finance and the new digital economy that creates wealth and distributes it. It is simultaneous, instantaneous. We have to learn, we have to be part of it, we have to be wise in it, and we have to be a leader in the new economy that has so many sectors, so many industries, and each one of you will become a leader and a contributor and wealth creator and the receiver of the benefit of it. This is again my promise to Africa as a humble servant. And beyond that, remember there are thinkings in life. Never you need, you are always the solution. What does it mean? It means the whole Africa. You don't need the foreign investment to come and raise Africa. You have all the resources that they need. You are zero need, 100% solution for the rest of the world. China needs you. US needs you. Europe needs you. And in humility, all of us and all of them will have to come and help you, and you help them. It is called win-win-win-win. It is called the collective maturity of humanity, of the whole world. Oneness of the world of humanity. The unity is not enough. Not only hostility must go away, even bipartisanal political hostility must go away. It's called collective consensus. It is called collective consultation. It is called learning about the benefit of others and maximizing their interest so that my interest will be maximized. I know the tradition and the culture of Africa and the clans are collective consultation. They care about the whole community and every member. Let that same old culture and civilization where you determine your own destinies will be taken to all the tribes, all the kings, and all the young also become leader, allowed, and go to the higher level provinces, to the national governments. Let the national governments feel that you are helping them and that they themselves are beneficiaries of your peaceful consolidation and support. Therefore, you will not be feeling that, oh, my government doesn't care about me. No, they do. I have met with many of the leaders of Africa. They are not selfish as people just try to show to them. No. In reality, in the back of the heart and mind and souls of people, especially in Africa, there is goodwill everywhere. There are spiritual souls everywhere. There are spiritual diamonds everywhere. Yes, diamond is a stone, but now we are talking about spiritual diamonds whose beauty and reflection and wealth creation will start to play. I am a humble messenger, and this message, like ripples, but it will not dissipate. The ripple in the spiritual world, unlike the physical world, will grow and become a wave and mightier and mightier. I know what I am talking, as humble as I am, because I did it before. And I am doing it now. And I am not waiting for anyone else on the planet. 8 billion people of the planet are my children, are my responsibility, as they are your responsibility. You are the parent. You are not a little cat that needs to be given milk. No, you are the source of creation of good and wealth. It doesn't matter where you are, how difficult it seems, and how tight your breathing space feels. Yes. You have the example of Nelson Mandela's. All of you are the Nelson Mandelas, maybe more and beyond, because the future calls for collective rise of heroes and heroines. Don't forget, our ladies are our precious assets. We don't know how much value they have. We don't know how much creative force they have in intelligence. Please help them, please. Please let us learn the good in us and show the knighthood, the chevalier, the gentleman that serve, that help, not aggressors. That's not part of humanity. Under no justification, my family. We are the goodwill ambassadors and agents and missionaries of God. It doesn't matter which religion we are in. No religion has the right to think of superiority over others, even if you have the truth. If you have the truth, you will be the humble servant. If we are not the humble servant, we are not in truth. So any of the extremists that take up the guns, my friends, I was the one who suggested in 2017 for the military of Zimbabwe to go into the streets with no guns. Yes, it was me, not being in Zimbabwe, in Dubai, in a small corner, through one person, talking to the leaders and creating what I call amnesty for the outgoing. I'm not political, but I love saving million lives. And I love to see in the next 3 to 5 years, not even 10 years, the fulfillment of my prophecy to you. I mean nothing. Who am I? It's not about me. I am nobody. I use the word my in trust of you. But I say my is us. Our vision together. Our work in humility. Very little speck of pure motive. You know how far it can go? Light years. Only a little bit of pure motive and humility, and yet power in action. We have to have both. As selfless as we can, and as self-dignified that you are. Together, we will show a different face of Africa and of humanity, because you are the mother of humanity, don't forget. You are not a receiver and a giver and needy, not at all. It was put in the back of the subliminal mind. I am changing it, God is changing it, you are changing it, everyone. And by the way, once Africa becomes wealthy, as China became, China wasn't going to other countries. Now China is investing in so many nations. That was the poor China that I met. It's like a baby in the cradle that's now become a spiritual giant. Even there is ups and downs, but still moving to the right direction. You know how much of your power, creativity is kept in captivity? No problem. It's like an arrow and a bow. You pull it and still captive, captive, captive. You release. This is what it will happen to you. Collectively. You will see it. You will see the time that you look at yourself, clear a little bit of the dust, and say, wow, this is me, the precious jewel. I am the mine. I am the biggest diamond. You are all the diamonds, not those stones. And then you will say, wow. And then you show it to the world, and the world will say, wow, this is Africa. And once you rise, even US, the beautiful black race of US will be elevated. And the white and the black will embrace. The East and the West will embrace. The North and the South will show the unity of the world of humanity. We can do it. Don't think of all the negativities. We have 1,000 types of hatred and killing and negativity, and yet one little speck of pure motive can change that. If you are real, you will change thousands, and those thousands will change the millions. I only work hard to be real. I'm talking to you to be real. I will show through my voice, my personality, my character, and my sacrificing at this old age. I don't need to come here. I will go to all the villages I can to prove to Africa that I'm sincere. I don't know how long I will be. I have a lot of illnesses. I have pinched nerve, reactive arthritis, high blood sugar, in pain for 36 years every second. But I traveled to 500 cities of China and 1,000 counties of China just because of this same mission. And I'm bringing that wealth of experience to Africa because on the day I wrote my mission for China that was inspired, I wrote 2 sentences. At that time, the irreligious China has been conquered spiritually. And yes, they are becoming spiritual and contributors. And I said at that time the same sentence in my diary, that tumultuous Africa is pacified and source of peace. I know Africa will be the source of peace. Not thinking, oh, we have to create peace here. You need to export peace to the rest of the world. This is the leadership that is in you. I don't know my message to how many people it reaches. Maybe 1 million, maybe 10 million, maybe whole of Africa, maybe through Africa to other countries. Even if it reaches to one soul can become the cause of the spiritual enlightenment of an entire continent, if not the whole world. I say my children are 8 billion people of this planet and for 100 generations to come. Beyond that, maybe I cannot do anything. But between this generation all over the world and 100 generations, 1 trillion people are my children, are my responsibility. I mean it. I have to find ways to influence and affect and contribute and be the source and be humble and forget it's nothing to do with me. It is your destinies at your stake. It is your destinies that all the powers of the world have to help the rise of Africa. The greatness of America and of France and of Belgium will be returned when they help the next rise of Africa. All the old karmas will be washed clean, and all the contributions of them to the world will come when they help the collective rise of Africa. My dearest family, my message has been long. My African brothers who asked me and inspired me, you inspired me to relay, not delay, no delay anymore. I'm glad God put the word delay. We cannot, it's called tarry no longer, wait no longer. We all start action. In the meanwhile, there might be some stop, some blockage. In fact, there is always so much blockage. When God gives you a high task, it gives equal test. Go through, pierce through them. I learned Chinese calligraphy. Nobody in the history of China, foreigner, has done that to the mastery level. Just to prove the power of the soul, I can pierce through the invisible great wall of China, of mind. That's why I'm asking. You are more mentally, spiritually powerful than I am. I promise you. I mean it. I am with you. Please be with us. With God, Emmanuel. With God, Allah, that mysterious force of all source of all religions. Again, so that we don't fight. God is like the peak of the mountain, is one. The messengers are around that top. And us on the ground, we are in different parts of the mountain. We don't see that we belong to the same. Okay, we are all unified in the source of our creation and in the destiny of our creation. Let's make the process shine in the darkness. Shine in the darkness, you will. Thank you.